Howdy, hi, hello, and welcome on in for another session of Cooking with Rambo. Hi. It's been a couple more weeks since we've done a cooking video, maybe even a couple of months. But I have some old apples that are starting to get a little bit mushy on the edges, so I thought it was time to make an apple cake. My mom recently went through all of the recipes at my parents' house, and she found this sheet that I had been given in middle school. It's for a fresh apple cake recipe. They did, in fact, teach us how to make it in middle school. We made it together. So I'm going to be sharing it with y'all now. So the first thing that you're going to need to gather is 4 cups of chopped apples. Now, if you have large apples, it's about 4 or 5 large apples. I have very small apples, so I've gathered like 7 of them or so. In addition to this, you're also going to need half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of regular sugar, 1 cup of white flour, 2 eggs, a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now the recipe does technically also call for a cup of whole wheat flour and 1/4 cup of wheat germ or flaxseed. I don't have whole wheat flour, so I just use white flour in place of it. And I've never made this recipe with wheat germ or flaxseed, so I just skipped that step altogether. But other than that, you're also going to need 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And that's everything. That's all you're going to need. While we push our items off to the side and get ready to start mixing things, you can also be preheating your oven. You're going to preheat it to 350, or if you are using a glass dish, you can do 325 instead. I'm going to start by peeling and dicing my apples up. Now, you don't have to peel it, and you'll see I do a very half-assed job of peeling my apples because the peel is not going to hurt you. But you can peel them, that way you don't have little pieces of skin in the apple cake. And then you're going to cut them up. Now you can use an apple corer, which you will see me do for a brief second, but I find it's easier to just cut the apple with a knife, so I just do that instead, especially since my apple corer is actually broken. I may have gotten a little bit too handsy with it and broke it, but that's okay. I'm going to let these guys be for a little while I go ahead and peel and core and slice up these apples, and then we'll get to doing some of the other ingredient steps. we are starting to get to the end of slicing and dicing my apples up into cubes. You can't see what I've been doing off on the side, but I've been pumping all of these apples into a big red bowl that you may have saw for a split second. We're going to start by putting a lot of our wet ingredients right in on top of those apples, and then I'm going to mix that up a little bit, and then I'm going to just put the dry ingredients right on top. Technically, the recipe does call to mix the dry ingredients separately from the wet ingredients and then mix both sets of ingredients together. I didn't feel like dirtying an extra bowl just to mix the dry ingredients, so I just mixed everything in a single bowl. And it turned out fine, so it's all good. I'm gonna start by putting the eggs, the oil, and the vanilla extract in with the apple cubes here, and then I'm going to put the sugars in, and then I'm gonna put the flour in, and the salt, and the baking powder, and I'm just gonna mix it all together. But if you were doing these, you would combine the apples with the sugars, the oil, the egg, and the vanilla, as I did. But then in a separate bowl, you would mix together your different types of flour, your baking soda, your salt, your cinnamon, that's it. Your wheat flour, your white flour, your flaxseed or wheat germ, your baking soda, your salt, and your cinnamon. You would mix all those together in a separate bowl, and then you would combine the two bowls into one. I skipped having the extra bowl step is all. And you're gonna preferably mix it all together using a fork, because if you try and use an actual mixer, it's probably going to get jammed up with all the apple pieces, because there's a lot of apples in this cake. It's apple cake. So I use a fork to just mix everything together, and it may get a little bit messy, it may get up on your hands, it's okay. Once you are done mixing everything together and it looks pretty consistent all throughout, you're going to take whatever pan you're using. In this case, I used my lasagna pan. It's 13 inches by 9 inches by 2 inches deep. I'm going to go ahead and spray the pan. Now, you can also grease the pan with actual butter and flour if you prefer, but just grease up the pan. That way the cake will come out relatively easily for you. And then you just pour in the batter. That's it. Spread it around. Make sure it's pretty level and even. Make sure that your apple pieces are pretty well covered with the actual like cake portion of your cake. And then you're going to go ahead and pop it into the oven on the middle rack for approximately 50 minutes. I check on it at that half-hour mark, and then I keep going. That's it. It's all done. It's wonderful. I did unfortunately forget to take pictures of the cake when it was done, but it was tasty nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you decide if you would like to try and make it yourself, that you let me know how it goes. And I will catch you guys next time for another session of Cooking with Rambo. See you, everybody.